Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You should be in bed. Here we are for an early edition of the Super League. Come on. I'm delighted to introduce someone I've not even spoken to this evening yet, but I can see his beautiful little face down here. Thankfully, I've just changed my top because we were wearing the same shirt, which would have looked really weird. So welcome, Darren England.
Thanks, mate. How are you?
I'm not too bad, mate. How are you doing?
I'm okay. Yeah, just gotten the kids to bed and just about to crack open a beer. So up to Super League.
Up the Super League. I have one small glass of red wine for the evening, and then I'll be moving on to a peppermint and honey brew in my Gryffindor mug.
Fantastic.
Absolute rock and roll. Let's get started, everybody. We can do a bit of chat while people join us. Thank you for joining us, everybody, on the early start. Good for you, Jens, an early start, and I just sit around waiting for an hour for the game to go. So, yeah, early started, isn't it, mate?
Yes, that's perfect. To be honest, I'd expect you to be a Gryffindor fan. To be honest,
Mate, I'm slithering all day long.
nah, I mean, Rob is definitely Slytherin. Mac,
Yes.
I guess, is rooting for Voldemort. But other than
He's
that,
got
I
the Slytherin,
suppose
hasn't
most of us are Gryffindor, aren't we?
he? Yeah, probably. So where do you see the Vikings, mate? Which house do they fall into this year?
We're always Gryffindor, with the heroes of the unsung heroes of the league. There's always very, very strong forces working against us, but we just do our best, and usually we tend to survive
You're
at the
still
end.
confident of making the six this year?
No, this season is a write-off. It's been a write-off since game week 5, 6. We're just terrible, but it's been less terrible now for the last 4 or 5 games. So I'm actually starting to figure out what my best team looks like, and I did not for the first 4 or 5 games. I just threw players in there, and
Yeah.
it feels a little bit better knowing what team you want to put out.
Yeah, having your lack of goals for the first however many games is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in the Super League. The 5 goals
With
after about 10 games or 11 games
Galco up
was
front.
mad.
Yeah, with
Yeah,
Sigalko up front and making all the bad transfers I made only to get players that I thought could feed in balls.
and they couldn't. Yeah, they absolutely couldn't. Let's get started with the games then. I can't remember who's who. Let's press continue and see where we go. Northern Burn against Fosse Road. 2 high flyers, a strange place to start, but we're going to go with the where the game takes us, mate. We've got the same team as far as I remember, and I always like to loiter on these pages in case I've made an error. Tomadera doesn't look particularly good. He's off the ball, he's weak, he's not particularly fast. He can't really jump and head, but he bagged that trick, mate.
Yeah, it's just Tomadera doing Tomadera things. I don't know about these so-called myths, David Collins, Tomadera. Sometimes they just seem to have a absolutely flying season, and then they just get lost afterwards. So maybe it's just, maybe the Incintric stuff is good since the stats on paper are bad. I don't know. I don't know how that works, but
Maybe
he's
I
got a
don't really
strong team,
understand it.
and he just puts out practically the same 11 every time.
Yeah, we've got
And
Montella fully
it works.
fit, who's been very, very poor this season, which has really surprised me. But we've got Montella fully fit, being benched for the hat-trick hero Tomadera. These 3 here, all 4 of them really are very creative. You'd expect goals to be created, or chances at the very least, from these. And with the red card sort of glitch not really coming into play this season, you can see that Roy Keane is really important now, and he's holding the fort all on his own. We've got the Unicorns. I forgot about this.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Okay, now Smuts has got the worst away record in the league, Jens.
Yeah, I can see why.
Well, no, he's now thrown the towel in basically away from home. He's got 1 point He gets absolutely spanked away. I think I said at home, there away, but he's very, very strong at home. Look at that incredible difference, really, between the two. So I think he's tried the last few games away from home against myself, East Coast, Haggis, Santos. He's losing 2-0 every single week. So he's
But it's
decided.
not. I mean, he's new to the Super League though, and I mean it's fair play because he probably thinks he's going to lose anyway. But
Yeah.
after all those seasons where we're watching the Super League, it's putting out crazy tactics never works. It just never works. He's going to get smashed here.
You see, it reminds me of very much of, sorry to jump around everybody. Where's oh, they're the Exiles. It reminds me of Fifey's formation on day one against me. He went, he went gung ho, he went all out. It's very similar to this. He's put loads of arrows on everybody, and yeah, his keeper got a 4. But I absolutely spanked him on the day, and that'll happen. That happens in the Super League, doesn't it? And I think Fifey did it again. This isn't having a go at Fifey. Just compare the two. He's done similar last week.
I mean, there's so many similar tactics and so many, I mean, strong players in the most important areas that you're happy to go with, I mean, win one, lose one, and hope that you get in the playoffs by the end of the season, or you try something different. And usually it just doesn't work.
So I'm guessing his away team is going to be similar to this, at least for a couple of weeks till he gets his head around it, or he scrapes a draw or something, then he's back to normal. But this is very attacking. Even having Vieira going forward, you're talking about having everybody in their half. So I think, to me, this is only going to go one way. I'm intrigued, though. I do like a new formation. I'm one who likes innovation. Even especially against Burn, though, Edwards must be rubbing his hands with this. So let's see how it goes. Good luck, fellas. And if Foss Road get the win, then, all power to him.
Hands up.
Absolutely. Not much happening so far.
Guest for Fifey tonight. Just so he can have something to rub it off on after he plays his game.
Well, yeah, Smut's saying he lose as expected. Like I say, I think he's throwing the towel in the away games, and that's the way he wants to go and just focus on his home games. With the form he's showing at home, that should be enough to get him near the playoffs. 1-0, absolutely battering him, really, you would say. If that doubles again second half, that's quite a spanking. That's very, very strong. Your man Mike Duff there. Did he get the assist? No. Totti did. Yeah, very strong and creative, as I would imagine. Hoffland looks like he's doing all the work on his own there. Yeah, that is. I mean, you can see here, like in one half, for your two centre halves to be doing a combined total of 23 tackles is absolutely insane. That's a lot, but we know that because they're just completely left exposed. Jens, anything catching your eye?
It's just if you care about the tackle percentage or tackles per game statistics, then this is probably a good formation to put out. But this is going to be more in second half if Fosterroad doesn't change it up. I think for 3 or 4-0.
You think there's not particularly much point in them changing it up now at 1-0 down, because you'd only expect them to go more, a normal formation, go more attacking to chase the game, since they've not been in it at all. But he can't really go more attacking. He's looks like he's going something slightly more normal, which I think would probably benefit him while he's still in the game. Take the arrow off the air, and that's it. I don't hate that at all. I don't hate that, because MCs are not for me either. Let's go till 60. Let's see how we get on. That should calm it down a bit. Maybe, let's see. Let's have a look, see how he goes. If he has gone direct or something on his tactics, I'm not sure. Ortega, who's been very, very good in that AMC role. Paul Scholes, Super Paul Scholes, he did very well when he came on for Edwards in that position.
There's no one to tackle Paul Scholes there. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely dictating the play. Slight injury concerns if you care about condition. I certainly do not. So 10's there. Edwards, let me know what you're going to do. We'll jump across to... what's Vieira on at the moment? He's on all 8s. He's doing brilliantly, and now he's 5s. Condition for those who care. Zeriberto. Yeah, he'd probably be fine. What would you be doing here then?
No, I'd say even if you're one of those like yourself that doesn't care at all about the condition, I think with Roberto you should care though, because he tends to get an injury with low condition percentage, and if he gets injured for a long time, then you're fucked. You haven't got anyone that can
Yeah,
do anything similar to what he does.
after having a look at the stats that Horsey collated, last season before the season we don't talk about, he was up there with the most appearances, Roberto, in the whole league. He was only 10 or 15 games over the space of 7 or 8 seasons behind the top player. So I think, to be honest, I'm not 100% in this. He's injury prone. I think it's a little bit of a myth based off Horsey's numbers. But he did have that one season.
Just for Rob. Just very injury prone for Rob.
That must have been it, yeah. He did have that one season, didn't he? It was every other week. But I do think overall, I think there's no real issue with him injury prone wise. We've got an as-is from Edwards. Sorry, I've just seen that. Edwards, thank you, mate. I'm guessing there's a bit of an essay coming. Do you imagine a full change?
He's making a lot of changes there.
Yeah.
Santa Cruz for Owen, Vieira for Bisca, Dalmat for Rivaldo.
Santa Cruz for Owen. It's just bringing Vieira off. It's just knocking it on the head. Dalmat for Rivaldo. Into MC, Franca Central, and Aaron. Fair enough.
Now, if you started the game like this, it will still be a bit of a crazy shout, this formation, but it would make a lot more sense, in my opinion.
He may as well now, mightn't he? Saviola has to drop back, says Paul. Saviola is not an AMC, unfortunately. He can play okay there, as Jens, you well know, mate, don't you? He can do okay there, but he's definitely better as a striker. He was injured for me a fair bit as well. Yeah, fair enough. I just think because he's so important, people notice his injuries a little bit more personally. But I think numbers back that up as well. But that's probably more opinion than fact. All right, let's see how we get on. See if it improves Fossey Roads. No, it does not. It does not. I'll tell you again. Oh wow. Oh, disallowed. Fair enough. Game over. Another loss on the road for the Foss boys. Excuse me. Yeah, that's a comfortable win. That's probably as predicted, Jens, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a solid as always. Northern Burnside at home to a team that puts out a crazy tactic. There's always going to be one result.
Yeah, he's on absolute fire now. That's a 10, 9, and a 10. That is very, very good. And all this talk about him being a poor looking Ortega at the start of the save, you play players like this, they improve, to be quite honest. And he is improving, I think. I'm not going to spend time with it. Oh, my good Lord.
19 tackles won, 14 key tackles.
I don't think I've seen
tackles per game now.
I don't think I've seen that high. I remember Scally got about 20, 21 or 23.
There's a goal for the mighty Redmen, by the way, Tato, if you're interested.
Brilliant. Oh my, I can't go over that. Anyway, that's the interesting thing there. Well done, Edwards. Very, very simple that for you. And it is Fife on next, you'll be happy to know. I think it looks like Smuts is doing his subs. I have got the instructions as well, but Smuts, I would appreciate if you could do it. And everyone, don't worry about someone doing subs when they're not here. I've got them written down as well, so don't worry. I think this is how we're going. Let's check the last match. I always worry. Yeah, it has changed. Good. He's kept it. There we go.
Is Rio Ferdinand played a lot, or he's just been shite, hasn't he?
Well, he's got a poor rate. I mean, it's rubbish. He's not very good, is he? So he's not gonna be good because he isn't very good. So, but the midfield three should be fun. Larson, I think, is sneaky good in a 2. I think he might be a fairly, unsung hero in a 2. He doesn't get tried there. He's like Saviola, isn't he? Constantly gets played at AMC. But for me, he's a striker. He's a second striker. And you play him as a second striker, probably next to a big guy like a Viduka, a Clivert like I've got, or a Rossini. And I think he'd do quite well. So I think Larson...
It's a good team. It's a good team on paper.
Yeah, on paper, certainly. So I saw someone saying in the middle of the week that have got Excise got the best midfield 5 or something. I think it might have been Greaves. They got the best midfield 5 in the league, which is absolute nonsense. But
I agree. He talks a lot of nonsense, to be fair.
He does. Good guy, though. Good guy. Walker's been dropped because I believe he's been sold after the game. He gets himself a 9, gets dropped, and then gets a transfer. So fair enough. Haggis, absolutely rolling, mate, on fire. What do you think's going to happen here?
Can't look past the Haggis boys. They're in good form, and the team looks both solid and great in the most important positions. So yeah, 2-0 Haggis.
Yeah, I'd say at least 2. Is that slow? No, it looks a bit slow. I think the 2 attacking these Arrows and the Exiles again. They're just 2 attacking.
Yeah, I agree. There's like 10 players ending up at the same position when they have the ball.
They conceded 4 last week. They scored 2 against the good side. But at home to concede 4, you know you're going to attacking for me. Even if you create more chances than them, it's the type of chances you concede in, isn't it? I think again, happy to be proven wrong because I don't want Haggis to win, but I do think he's gone to attacking again. I realised he got manager of the month, did Fifey in the first month, and since then it's radically changed. He's changed his whole formation and stuff, really. So, but there we go. Pretty good half from the Exiles. If that was me, I'd be delighted. I mean, you could say they're absolutely battering them, but again, it's that quality.
Absolutely furious.
Yeah, it's the quality of chances.
7 shots on goal and being 1-0 down.
Yeah,
the story of Vikings too many times. This.
No one. I mean,
goalkeeper 5, of course.
Fifey did say, I think, on his instructions that anybody on a 5 needs to come off at half time. There's your Haggis ones. Rue did the assist. Vieri not turned up yet. Perez continuing his good run of form this year. 6 assists. He got 5 of them in his first 5 games, so he has gone off the boil slightly. But you can see there he's upturning form. 9, 7, 8 and a goal tonight. So he's probably on to at least an 8. And Fifey is making the change through the medium that is Smuts, which is Frey for right, because he did say that. And then I'm at AMC, which makes a little bit more sense. I would be taking these Arrows off. But again, that's even more attacking, which is, it's fair enough. Veron's doing absolute bits at DMC. He's moved him back to a position where he doesn't do anything. He doesn't play well. And lo and behold, he's getting a 6 and a 7 again. And he's on again for another 6. Fifey's unlocked his position in one of the best players on the game. And do you know what, Jens? I've been playing him there on a home save, and he's done exactly the same at DMC. He's getting huge numbers, constant 9s, tackles. But Fifey might be onto something.
This is with an Arrow and 2 players next to him, probably.
Yeah, but there you go. So he's back there again. He's back on his normal 6s, back being a myth. So that's all. Thank you. Whoa, that jumped. That absolutely jumped to 67. So I'll put the player ratings on. Nothing will have changed there, really, will it? Nothing in conditions, because nothing happened. Haggis there. Pretty weak performance from Haggis, really. 1 shot on target. They've come into it a bit more, Jens, but still only 1 shot on target.
It's just typical of these fucking annoying teams that, I mean, just, they're going to do well this season. They're going to be top 2. You already know. Because sometimes they're firing, but even when they're not firing, they're just scraping wins.
Yeah.
1 shot on target.
They've got that star quality in important areas, haven't they? You know you're going to get a decent amount of clean sheets.
Tackle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's going to happen every week, isn't it? You're very rarely going to get your 5s from Samuel and Cannavaro. And, you've got your strike force that's always going to bag a goal at some point. As is, if all above 80 condition, yes, it is. Okay, so we're going to roll it through. Fairly dominant Exiles, you'd say, but Haggis always looking the more dangerous, and there we go, just purely better chances.
3 shots on target, 2-0. 3 shots on target, 3-0.
I believe that'll be on another keeper getting a 5 probably for Exiles, I would guess. Yeah. That's 7 goals conceded in 2 games with this formation at home for the Exiles. Yeah, that's 2 keepers on a 5, which is harsh, and a keeper on a 9. So I think if you look at that and say the game's against him, maybe 8-3 shots on target, but
I'd be fuming, but I think it's also down to the quality of the center backs and the strikers at Haggis, to be honest. And
Yeah.
also the goalkeeper is he has to be an unsung hero this season because I think he's been really, really good.
Yeah, people saying there's a big champion going on there. Savage. Do you think that's a champion? It didn't feel like a champion in the text. Maybe that's just a bit of a bias from because I said he would lose, but it's very, very similar to his last game where he got more tap chances, more shots on target, did Fifey. But the opposition have scored 7 in 2 games. Do we blame the keepers? Do we blame too many arrows? For me, I think it's too many arrows and not enough protection for the keeper. But there we
Only
go.
thing I know is I'm muting Twitter for the next days.
Yeah, well, it's going to happen for a while now.
Yeah.
They're going to win most games, aren't they, mate? So I think I've had them muted for a long time on Twitter. East Coast, here we go. Let's get East Coast on. How have they changed it from last game? They've just brought back in Stamp, fairly, an average. I mean, he's played quite average, actually. I was joking, but he has actually played quite average. A very good defender to bring back in. Fixtures.
As well is really good.
They've got 1 loss there in 5 or 6 games. They're just starting to tick over East Coast, aren't they? This looks very, very East Coasty, doesn't it? This sort of run that we've got here.
Yeah, they're always solid and always hard to break down. And yeah, it's just one of those teams that is going to be somewhere around that top 6 at the end of the season.
Yes, probably. And another one who was sort of making a push towards the top 6 for a couple of games, 3 games in a row, winning 3 games in a row, puts you right on the brink of the top 6, and then losing to a top 6 rival last week out after, again, not necessarily dominating, but creating plenty of chances, and then just losing to your boy Sigalko. He needs a win here, doesn't he? I think if it is early doors, but if he loses and one of these teams wins, I know Foster Road have lost, Sloth, Stanley, maybe Badgers and East Coast. If this is a loss, then the gap becomes pretty big, doesn't it, Jens?
He's in the same boat as us. It's just still he probably feels it's still not over, but he needs to get points on the board and he needs to win more games than he draws or loses. And then if he wants to, then he has to win at home.
Yeah, it probably feels like last chance saloon for him the next couple of games. I know it seems stupid, but the way the league goes, that momentum and the distance between the 6 and yourself, it sort of makes a difference, doesn't it? He's made a few changes. He's been enjoying this formation in his home saves. After 4 performances that have done pretty well like this, he has switched it up and gone with this. It's not a massive difference. We've brought in Southgate for his debut, which he got from me. A swap deal for, I can't remember now, somebody fairly inconsequential. Who do we say? Who did I swap him for? Oh, Tonetto. Yeah, I just got Tonetto, and I need left wing cover for Giggs. Who's terrible? Sorry, Southgate.
Southgate is terrible. I've
Yeah,
never. Why is he? Why are people playing him in the Super League?
He's very good on the editor. Scout, seems to really rate him. He's got 19 here and 17 here. By the end of the season, Jens, this will probably be 20 and 20, these two, because I've played the season through.
The average is 6.6, so it doesn't matter.
I know.
It's just not good. Didn't Steve play Rustico for like 5 weeks in a row to say that he's going to look good in 10 games? And now he's dropped for Gareth Southgate?
Mm-hmm.
Steve, come on.
Let's see how we go
long term, then go through with it.
A very interesting point in the comments there from, where we go, show. Oh, never done this before. There we go. Woo. Very interesting point here before I get started. Halfway stage after tonight, decent sample size to work it out. So yeah, if you're averaging 1 point per game, we're out of time. That's from a seasoned pro. So I think we take that. We'll take that as gospel. So thanks for that, Edwards. I'll turn this off now. I think you've probably all seen enough of that. Let me get back to the show. Here we go. Okay, let's kick off. Let's see how we do. So we'll have a look at that metric at the end of the game, Edwards, and see how we're looking. Ferguson got a 5 last time out. You think 1-1?
Yeah.
Ferguson got a 5 last time out, I think so. Dimble will be hoping for something better this time around. There seems to be a lot of Dudley Hill, doesn't there? and still not much in the way of clear-cut chances. Plenty of action, though. It's not been a fast half. There we are, first bit of speed. Back, Keane. He's got a decent AM line as Dudley Hill. Pushing a little bit.
Jivak's name a couple of times there. Looks dangerous.
Yeah, it does look dangerous. So
It
very
always is,
even half. I did expect it to be an even half. Pat Soglu doing well. Southgate on his customary 6. Big Yip Yap Stam is there with an 8. Simkoviak with an 8 as well, assuming for runs. Not much to write home about. Condition is fine. Pretty average formation. Ratings, rather. I mean, Sinkoviak's having all the shots there, Jens. He's the main man.
Yeah, he's active, isn't he? It always seems to happen things around him.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what. I think that East Coast centre back partnership is. I mean, they're not as big names as Cannavaro and Samuel, but they have to be one of the best centre back partnerships in the league. Juliano is just always solid, and Yapstam is Yapstam.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Juliano, but he puts the numbers up. That's just a personal thing. I don't know why I've not taken to him, but he does seem to do well for lots of other players. So yeah, you might be right there. Right, let's roll till 60. Both of them are set till 60. Probably a bit unsure of how it's going to go. And there's Archie back on 48 minutes. Gets Dudley Hill's goal first of the evening. And it's jumped to 60 and someone is injured.
Yeah, that's the injury there.
And I'll do you first then. Well, I'll put them both on. Here's your conditions. You have got an injury. I mean, jumped to 70. I apologise there, lads. That went really quickly there. Apart from him, everybody seems fine, Dims. So have a think. Stay will jump over to you.
He's going to be happy with that after just seeing the injury. That is Hussein. He's got a couple of strikers that's just as good as him. If it be C. Elias or Stam, for example, he'd be in big trouble.
Absolutely right. I can see Pizarro obviously going to come on straight there. I can see him maybe taking off Michelini and going with an extra AMC. Probably Jacques in behind Jose, Pizarro possibly. He's going as is. Keane's not having a good game, but he's going as is anyway. His options on the bench aren't particularly great. I wouldn't put in Rosicky there. Contra with an assist and a 9 from that. He's playing right wing as well, isn't he? Of course he is. I played him there, and he did absolutely nothing, and then sold him. But that's all good for Steve. That I got a good deal for Contra that seems to be working for both of us, so no complaints from me.
I'd expect Jackson, Pizarro to come on, as you say.
Yeah, me too. We'll wait for Dims there. I would be doing. Yeah, I'd be getting
the DMC's out.
Yeah, Michelini off. I think he's doing what I think. He doesn't really have any shot. He's set it up perfectly, his bench, really, to make this move, hasn't he? Shaq for Michelini. Yeah, it seems very, very nice. Shaq's AMC with an arrow. Stanic up front. Right, so Dims is probably quite specific, isn't he? So about where people move with the instructions. I think I've done that in the right order. So that Jacques has got all the AMC instructions. I don't really bother about that, but I think it does have an impact on it when you move them and where you move them to. Almost matching up with Steve's formation. This is a formation that I love. Perfect cheers. Thank you, Dims. How are we looking on here? Very, very even still. Let's see if they can get an equaliser and your 1-1 prediction can be proved correct. It is East Coast sort of pushing a bit more now. Dudley Hill, are they going to hold on to this very important win that keeps their season alive? A draw will not do it for them. And there we go. Dudley Hill, deserved a 1-0 seems an even result. 1-1 probably would have been fair, even more fair. Very, very even, boys. Good game, that. Two very good teams, Two solid teams. Steve starting to find his form again. That's 3 wins out of 4 for Steve.
I think it's. I mean, to break down that East Coast team is that's very impressive. So well done, Steve. Hard lines to Dimble as well because it was a tight game.
Tight game. You're not going to score many. Yeah, go on.
No. I'm just saying it could have gone either way. So
could have gone either way. So, yeah, it could. It was right on the knife edge, really. And you're not going to score many against East Coast, so you're always going to be in that tight battle with them, aren't you? Dimble not happy with that there because depending on how the results go tonight, that sort of might leave him out the 6 tonight. Not that it makes a big difference at this point, but it's psychological, isn't it? Which way you sort of going towards. Dudley Hill closing, East Coast dropping further down, and it would be the same, I think, if I lost as well tonight. Let's jump to. Let's just keep playing it through, shall we? Fulchester Los Santos. Here we go. I don't think he's changed it. Why would he? He's brought Prutton onto the bench for Curtis.
Macca formation.
Yeah, you wouldn't change
it. And Hopkins doing well. Good things with the decent squad. I'm just going to have a wee thinking.
Yeah, I'll talk myself through this Los Santos then. David Batty has come into the fold. Someone's been chucked out. I can't remember. It was not Vogel. Someone else has been dropped down. There's a few been dropped down to the resis. There is a big deal in the offing for Los Santos, and I think it's Foss Road with Raul moving, and a couple of others that have been relegated. I think Milito and one other one is going to Foss Road for a couple of people. So you'll see a bit of a different Foss Road, Los Santos and Foss Road by the time the next game comes around, which is probably explains why Raul's been dropped. Form is pretty rubbish, so he could get dropped anyway. But Bergkamp is in, and there we go. So let's see. We're back to a normal formation. Which check I did load that in. I did. Game week Batty. A fairly not an interesting one is Lizarazu being dropped for me because he's been one of his better players. 4 assists in 11 games, 5 contributions from left wing back, rating of 7.55. He's on form. He's not being sold. So I'm not sure with that one. I know Cashman was good when he played, but I'm sure that was on the right hand side, right wing back, and Agat has been okay. I think Lizarazu would be getting the nod for me, but what do I know? So there we go. Good luck to the two fellas. I'm predicting a few goals here, as always with Fulchester.
We're on.
Started fairly even. Tomasi injured. I haven't seen Hodgie. He's usually out for a few beers. Looking at his team, it's got to be Vogel for me, really.
Yeah, it got to be Vogel.
None of these are coming on. I haven't seen him. I will wait. I'll make the change. I think Vogel for me as a DMC, he does tackle. I put him there on my sort of tester leagues that I have set up with the same squads, and he often finishes top actually, and your Vogel of the tackles per game. So
yeah, he was class for me. Sorry, mate. I just
yeah.
Vad sa du? Jag går in. Luktar det då? Ordentligt?
Weird one.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Vogel I think is a bit underrated, to be honest. The same as Milevski. I had both of them at Tools, and they were both brilliant at the MC.
Yeah, I think people like to play him as MC because he can do a job there. How do you say weird one? I don't know what's a weird one. Just the injury. Vogel, yeah. I don't know what was weird, Hodgie, but yeah, if you say so, mate, yeah. Let's put Vogel in. A weird injury, maybe. I didn't read the text, so maybe it was a weird sort of injury, just sort of dropped. I'm not sure. So there we go. Vogel straight in, which I would do as well to try and combat that very, very impressive Robin. There does seem to be plenty of Los Santos in this game, but you do get that with Fulchester games. They don't leave many players in their own half, like other teams, including myself, do. They just leave the 3.
David Batty.
One of the most predictable. Oh, Lizarazu was the weird one. Oh, what's a weird one? Well, you did it.
Surely you bring Pawe back here. I don't know what's going on in the chat.
I'm just working out what Hodgie was saying. He says it's a weird one. But I mean, you dropped him.
Was the weird one.
As far as I know, I've put the right team out, and you have dropped him. So maybe you just didn't spot him in his pack or something. I don't know, Hodgie, but okay. So Batty obviously has been sent off. Annoying because I want to see him get a run in the Super League, but maybe his temperament's not quite there.
I mean, if Roy Keane can stay away from the sending offs, then even David Batty should be able to. I think he's just going to bring Vogel centrally, doesn't he?
He might bring Pawe back with a little arrow, possibly, Fifey style, but Vogel already on an 8 there, which is something that not only Hodgie, but maybe other people can consider as well, because Vogel is always one that gets pushed to centre mid, but he does. I think he does quite well in that DMC role. Central Vogel,
Yeah,
mate.
I think he's best as a DMC, and I think he's got good stats for a DMC as well.
Hodgie didn't realise he'd done so well. You panicked me a bit there, Hodgie. I thought I'd missed something there. Your pack got sent wrong, but you didn't realise he'd done so well. Yeah, he has, and he's on top form, and he's been chucked out of the squad altogether. But is what it is. Any changes? Intermittent reception. Any change? I mean, you wouldn't be making any changes here, would you? As is, yeah. Thank you. I don't see the point of making any changes there. As we roll on towards half time. It's been very Los Santos, hasn't it? It seems it in the writing, in the text. There we go. Doing what
There he is again.
just to do. Hello, Zemo. Welcome, mate. Zemster. Nice to have you with us again, mate. Davis getting injured. A fella that I sold to him for cash. I think it was cash, or maybe it was for Panucci. Either way, basically cash. I'm guessing. Well, actually, there's two options out there. There's Prutton and Emre, so I'll wait. Who'd you be putting on?
I think he's going to be putting on Prutton there to have a right-footed. Yeah.
Fair enough. Resting him. Yeah, fair enough, Hodgie. He does need a rest, doesn't he, after when he's in top form. There we go. I mean, an incredibly even half there.
I'll tell you what, I mean, Maka obviously knows what he's doing, and Hopkins, who is brought in, obviously knows what he's doing, and it's a Maka formation, and it was always going to do well. But you just can't plan for Crespo to score a goal a game in the Super League. It happens once every 5 saves.
Yeah,
if you're lucky, if you're
isn't it?
lucky, I mean, some players are going to score goals in some saves, and if you're lucky to get that one, then you're going to do well.
Yeah, I think
It's not like anyone has not tried the instructions that Crespo's got.
Yeah, I would imagine there's not particularly any differences with the instructions. Knowing Maka, he's pretty chilled with that sort of thing. I think. So I know what you're saying, but if you think of this save, you've got Trezeguet as well, who seems to be scoring. So you've got and Vasiliuk is having a really good save for first season. So you've got a few of these strikers that are actually scoring goals that are fairly unprecedented. So
yes,
it's safe to say, isn't it?
As you all know, I'm a big Maka fan, so nothing pleases me more than him doing well. But there's a bit of luck in the picture as well in regards to who you get. I mean, I got Sigalko, who's supposed to be the best top choice striker in the game.
Yeah,
but he
didn't quite
was
work.
completely shit, wasn't he?
It is. Morientes for Bergkamp. I did think they might have 3 up top. So we've got Bergkamp off for Morientes. And he said 3 up top. So there's literally all 3 of them going up, which is okay. No problem. Very bold. I might have put Shevchenko behind the 2, but at 1-0 down and down to 9 men, why not? I did see before the game Los Santos were the highest yellow cards in the entire league by a few. So doesn't surprise me. 2 yellows has got a red for their team, but let's see how 3 up top does. Power to DMC. I will do that now. I was maybe a little bit too hasty there. Power to DMC. Sorry, Hodgie, mate. There is a big gap. Are you going to say an arrow? If you are, pop that in the chat for me. We'll be stopping again in like 5 minutes. So, in fact, I'll jump ahead. If you need the arrow, I'll put it on in 5 minutes. Please don't score. Okay, good. All right, so we're at the 60-minute mark. So you can if you want your arrow, you can put it on. Dida on a 9. Look at the match stats. Yeah. Look at that.
Dida's a fucking monster.
Again, another random player who's having an absolute storming save. Vogel doing very, very well. You have to say Los Santos here are looking the better side. They've created more chances, putting the keeper under pressure. Can't forget that they're down to 10 men as well. Agat not playing very well. Possibly move to wingers here, do you think? Ronaldo for Const. Are you playing Constantinu at AMC? You don't just want to push him up front because he's a striker? No. Nudge him up there.
I mean, he'll be up there when they have the ball, so...
Yeah, I suppose, but still.
I don't know,
Anything else?
but yeah, probably push the wing backs up to wingers, but
Yeah, have we looked at this? As is pleased from Hodgie. They were in the ascendancy. They were starting to push.
yeah.
Hopkins, anything else? I'm not sure you'd finish. You just said one little small instruction. Is there anything else you'd like to do, Hopkins? Opponents are going as is. So they were starting to turn the screw, Los Santos, with those three players up front against Fulchester's three at the back. So 3v3 going on.
3v2 actually. I mean,
Thank you. You are 3v2 with a DMC. There we are. There he is from AMC, just to annoy me. There we go. 2-0 looks like it's Fulchester's. Fulchester look like they're making it 12 games unbeaten. What I think was one loss the first game of the season, I think it was, and then he's unbeaten ever since.
wow, that's
They have only
I didn't
lost
know
once. Same as the Badgers, they've only lost one, and theirs was, like I say, theirs was the first one of the season. So I think our game week 1 or 2. What we on 13? Yeah. So there we go.
absolutely massive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge. A good performance from Santos. It shows that they've got the players there. I think Vogel getting him in there at DMC might start to turn things even more towards Los Santos' favour. So Genio with a 10, is that 2 assists? Just the 1? And an awful lot of runs. Yeah, that's 7 runs from Serginho. Crespo with another goal. I mean, if you've got Constantino and Crespo, that's some strike force. He's got to be pushing for a start, Constantino there. I know he deputised for Crespo valiantly. Gee whiz, look at that. That's stupid.
It's a fantastic player to have on the bench, though. If he can,
Yeah, it is. Look at that.
if he can deliver in the AMC as well, then it's the best player you can have on the bench.
Yeah, I agree. This is what I was talking about. I think pre game, or when there was an injury, he finished top ahead of your Zay Elias's, your Scallies and everybody finished, and Yeremis, he finished top of it. And a few times I did it, and it just made me think, maybe he is just a DMC, a flat out DMC, a tackler. Because in my head he's a passer, but maybe I've got him wrong there. We won't do me just yet. We'll jump to Stackington, who they playing the Sloths. Let's go to Stackington. They've made some changes. This looks like an interesting formation. He's ditched the AMCs. He's got himself a backwards arrow, which is very, very horse-like. Emerson's been dropped. They've got Davey for Kutuzov, who's doing all right in the reserves for what difference that makes. Emerson out of the squad altogether, has fallen out of favour. In my head, Mendieta was having another storming season, and I clicked on him pre-stream tonight, and it doesn't look like he is, which surprised me, but is what it is. So there we go. Let's see how they do. They're not on a very good run of form. I think it's 5 without a win. I had a look before, and there was 2 wins before that, and then 5 without a win. Stackington again I think this is probably last chance saloon. I think they're really far down now. I think if they lose this, conceding 26, Jens, you'd probably count them out if they lose tonight, wouldn't you?
No, and I had a quick think about Stackington because he's tried this season to put out this solid kind of formations with a lot of people in the middle of the park and hope that his lone striker are going to score goals. And it's solid formations and it's really Dan formations, but I've been thinking that they've lacked creativity in the middle of the park. He's played Emerson, Ambrosini, and Mendieta, so there's basically 2.5 DMCs in midfield. Yeah. And
Mendieta is very creative. Mendieta is a creative,
but he's still a DMC though, and or a defensive midfielder. And I thought I'd say that I think they've lacked a little bit of creative force in the middle of the park, and he's actually put Kutuzov in there now, who could be, but he's just not good enough. So I think he lacks maybe a creative midfielder in his squad.
Yep, that's fair point.
I don't know.
And stuff.
I think he's with the best of squads, in my opinion.
No, he's sort of shaping it towards his own.
Bringing Dyer down to wing back is sorry, mate, but bringing Dyer back to wing back is a good move because that's where he's really, really good. And Volodenkov is decent as well, so he's got some good wing backs. But is Amro also going to be on the end of those crosses?
Not sure. You feel like you need someone slightly bigger, don't you? Someone who's a real header of the ball, a powerhouse. I was asking him and begging him to bring, put Dyer at DMR, for ages, and he doesn't like wing backs. To be fair to him, it's a bit like myself. I don't particularly like it until I went, until I did well with them. But these last 5 games, I think he's been there 3 or 4 games now. 9-8-8. He's going to get that up consistently. So I think the best chance he's got is to keep those wing backs and try and tweak it further forward, like you say. Yeah, he doesn't. He hates his keeper as well. Alstra said they play loads of away games. I don't think you do. Sloths, you just had 7. It's the most in the league, but joint with lots of other people. Yeah, Horseman doesn't like his keepers either. But we've got Alan Smith at AMC. You've got a rejuvenated, reborn Trezeguet up front, and Penn's the top goal scorer in the league behind him. I did want to highlight something when I was looking and setting up the teams with Shoehorn Janacheda in. I know Alf loves him. I like him. I was after him for a little while as part of my 3DMCs when they were coming for me for certain players. But was top of the tackles chart. He was top of the tackles chart, at least 8 tackles every single game by about 3 or 4 tackles, which is huge, really. They've since put someone next to him. He was playing on his own there. They've put Janacheda next to him. Now they've moved into MC. And his ratings are dropping. He's nowhere near. He's on 6.9. He's not near the top anymore. What do you think about his move to MC?
I think it's probably not an Alf move, because Alf obviously knows what he's doing. So it's probably a Rob move. And you're just putting one of the best tacklers and the best DMCs in the league in the wrong position. But yeah. I mean, it's this coincidence. I mean, slots they're crashing down any minute now. It already started, I think. So it's gonna do nonsense things.
Yeah, I think
time going forward. They started well, and Trezeguet started well as well. But I don't think it's been. I may be wrong, but I don't think it's been that good for the last 4 or 5 games.
No, he's starting to tail off, isn't he? So, Rob says there he is trying to shoot on them both in. So I was right with that respect. But it's the first time he's moved to MC. But what I was meant to say was, as soon as you put someone next to him, his ratings do start to go down. He does fewer tackles naturally. And
he played the formation that doesn't work, and it worked. And it worked because of Nicky Butt, because he was just kicking everyone around.
Yeah, so I mean, there he is. He's on his own, I suppose. There he did change it, didn't he? He went on a slightly poor run, I guess it was, and this looks like very, very strong. He lost to Exiles, the formation that doesn't work. He's making the keeper have a 9. I suppose he got battered there, didn't he? But down to 10 men, that can happen. Away from home, certainly that can happen. Foss Road, he changed it. He'd already given up on it there after 1 defeat. So, if he wants to arrest the slide.
I think they've done really, really well, because I don't think their squad is really, really good. I think
they've done very well as well. To be in 7th place and still be up there punching, I think they're doing really well.
If you want to get to the playoffs, you have to play at least your best player in the right position.
I think Butt needs to be there on his own. I think you just leave him, and everybody else can change. Everyone else can move around him, but I think he's one for me for slots. The world-class one. Yeah, he needs to stay. Well, I have read that Rob says he's resigning if he loses this. I don't believe that that's true, and I also don't want it to be true. So for that reason alone, Jens, I'm sorry, Horsey, I'm back in the slots here.
We need the slots in the league.
Yeah, we certainly do. Yeah, you can't be quitting when you're in 7th place, or maybe 9th or so after this if you don't win. But there we go. That's absolutely flown through. Not much has happened. Not much happened there. I mean, that's awful. I'm not going to look at that. Volodenkov, a DM again on a 9. The CC on an 8. You've got Butt getting his 6. He doesn't play well at MC. I tried it. Trust me. Yeah, there we go. I'm guessing conditions fine because no one's done anything. Oh, he has.
Look at that. Fucking terrible half. This is half of the games I've played this season has been like this.
Butt bound to score. Alf, Butt bound to score. He's not. I mean, he might do, but he won't play well, and he'll play better elsewhere. As good as Janacheda is, he's half the player that Butt is, and Butt on his own is on another level. Play till 60 from Mega Horse. Thank you for the very, very swift message there.
Swapping Butt back to the MC now.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Janacheda over. Yeah, and probably take Janacheda off. No, he's got a little ellipses there after the word over. Does that mean there's more to come, or is he just checking it out? Is he just sort of leaving a bit of suspense there? I'll give you another minute just to tell me something else because he also can't play centre mid. I don't
No,
think so.
I mean, he's not a wasted resource at centre mid. He's just shit.
With his technique
Nicky
8 and
Butt
his
is, I mean,
4, that's fine. Let's give him a go. He'll be fine there. He'll be okay, but he certainly won't pull up any trees. All right, let's see. Oh, there we go. Ambrosini, the non-creative Ambrosini getting a goal. He probably should have kept Butt in centre mid to mark Ambrosini, but
yeah,
it's what it is. There we
typical
go.
of Rob. Bad
Yeah,
choice.
come on, Rob. Show some ball,
Tactically
Rob.
inept.
Yeah, you are tactically inept. Who would make that change, Rob? It's embarrassing. Why change it when it's going so well? Yeah, a weak performance overall from the sloths. Condition, of course, because Horsey's obsessed with it. Everyone's fine, Horsey. Same on this side. You know what to do. 3 up top. Okay, so I'm doing that. If there's an arrow here, I can add one after. Okay, doing okay. Butters tackles have gone up slightly. Janet Cheddar down to a 6 now. I think probably sacrifice Janet Cheddar for Enrique really to get more creativity, maybe a bit of an arrow on him.
I'd swap Janet Cheddar with Butt, to be honest. Get back in this game.
Yeah, come on, put Butt back where he rightfully belongs. You've got again. I don't mean to labour the point, but I can't emphasize how many times I was saying to Horsey, please play them at DM. Please play these two at DM. I know you hate it, you don't like it, but please put them there because it's your best chance. And not that he listens to me; he knows far more than me on the game. But I'm glad at least that these two are actually doing something. You'd say, Jens, wouldn't you? These two are up there in the top 5 DM partnerships in the league, wouldn't you?
Yeah, Dyer is the top 3 DMR in the league, and Volodenkov is good. So I mean, they have to. He's got to play wing backs.
He does. I think we've had a thanks Tato from the Slothman, so I think that's all. I'm surprised he's not made a change in that centre midfield position. But shove Enrique, AMC, Rob 3 up top. I'll just wait. I don't mind waffling on for a sec.
What did he write?
Alpha's just said shove Enrique up at AMC, Rob 3 up top. I also think probably should go more attacking at centre mid, so I will just wait. But there we go. Paredes doing well. Kutuzov okay on his debut, got the assist. Of course, it is Dyer. They're not having to put many tackles in at the end.
I'm running Kutuzov for Hulls because he looked fantastic, and he was fucking terrible. Fucking terrible he was.
What change? Did I make your change until enforced change later on? Oh, balls, I did not. Absolutely did not. I completely missed it, Horsey. I completely missed it, mate. Sorry. Absolutely forgot. My bad. You won, so you probably don't care that much, but I don't know how. I completely missed it. Sorry, mate. Sorry to the horse. He wanted Clayton Zane on for his debut. Thankfully, nothing came back to bite me in the bum. But it's what it is. Sorry, mate. You know that wasn't on purpose. So we roll. So a very good win there. Kieran Dyer up to a 9. Volodenkov dropped to an 8. Got lucky there. I mean, lucky because I missed the sub, or lucky because you battered them. You absolutely hammered them. There was nothing lucky about that. That was a very good result. Fair result in the end, Jens?
Yeah, very important for Stackington because they needed a win. Slots had their honeymoon for the first 5 or 6 games, but I mean, we can make the joke about Rob always bottling it, but I honestly don't fancy their team at all. So I'm not surprised.
I think go back to, he has lost Ronaldinho, if you remember, as well, which probably has a bigger impact than you'd think. Just having, he doesn't, maybe he's not scored many this season. He's got a few 7s, but maybe he has a bigger impact on the game than what we can see in the ratings. But there we go. That was the result. Stackington have ended the streak, and again, apologies to Horse. I'm sure he won't mind because it was a complete accident. So we'll do mine first, mate, because I like to end with you. Let's fly through mine. So here is Red Rose. They have Davids is on a orange injury, so he is out. They have kind of a Jekyll and Hyde team almost. They won the last game against Dudley Hill with Maxim scoring 2, but before that they've conceded 8 in 2 games. So who knows what Stanley we're going to get today. Myself, no change to the starting lineup. I've brought on David Collins onto the bench just because Clivert isn't doing anything. But again, it might be that little Ronaldinho syndrome. He might be useful in a 2. And I am a few games unbeaten, but also anything can happen really, because there's been a lot of goals in my games recently since I've gone to this formation. As boring as it looks, Jens, usually plenty of action recently. What do you reckon?
I'll tell you what, I think after you had that, I don't know, week or days of doing a lot of deals, I think your team looks much better, and I think it's that 3DMC formation, as much as I complain about it, I think it's really, really effective if you have wingers that can perform at wing. So I've wanted to play 3 DMCs all season because I've had a lot of decent DMCs, but I'm not going to use Cafu at right mid. But I think it's one of the most effective formations in the league at the moment. And I think you got good players all over the pitch, and you got Giggs and Klompe, 2 proper match winners. So I can see you doing really, really, really well this season.
Hopefully, mate. Hopefully. Good luck.
Klompe is fucking fantastic.
He's been quality, Klompy, and Okoronkwo started to play well as well, defensively mainly. Klompy's been great even for season 1. He's been brilliant actually. Swapped him for Roy Keane, so I'm glad that's turned out all right because he's also been class. Look at Scott Sadler in the chat. Here we go. Wow, there's a name. Yes, Scott, mate. Welcome. Hope things are good. Rob has just possibly tendered his resignation at the Sloths, so there might be if you get in line, Sadler, there might be a position back again. Pretty dominant for me there. That's nice. Yeah, I'll take that. That's a good.
Yeah,
that's
good. Dominant.
Yeah, that's nice, isn't it? There is Stanley. No condition issues. Good Johnson, I think his debut. It's not his debut. His second game. He's on a 5, not doing too well. Scally not putting in the performances yet. Ika, I believe, might be moving clubs. I don't.
This looks like a easy Badger win, 2 or 3-0. But Stanley's got Sigalko though, so
it's close, isn't it? It's still only 1-0.
Never be confident.
No, it's still only 1-0, and the keeper's only on an 8. So I'm doing something with the shots. I've got plenty of 6s, so I'm doing something wrong going forwards. Scott.
I'll say this to Scotty Sadler: if you're back in the, if you're interested again and you're back in the league, then there's I was not going to take on an assistant at the Vikings, but you're the only one that can apply for it.
If he's back in the league, then he's coming to the set. I sounded him out about 6 weeks ago. So if he's coming back and he doesn't come to me,
he's got his son's got a Vålerenga shirt at home.
I don't care.
He's a Viking.
He's not a Viking. He's a Badger.
Right, network games. But he knows what he's doing in the Super League.
So let's go till 60. I'm hoping we get another goal before then. A penalty. Goal for Zanoni, which I will take all day long. There's always that fear of Sigalko banging 2 in like he did against Dudley Hill last week. As we approach the 60-minute mark, I'm not even looking at the text. I can just see it flash in the corner of my eye. Come on. There we go. I'll be taking Nicky Franco off for David Collins. Clivert for Yoseba. Klompy can stay. I'm not doing anything with him. I'll probably be doing that. Match stats are fairly comprehensive in my favour, but as always, Stanley are completely unpredictable.
You're smashing. You're smashing them. You're dominating them.
Yeah, there are a lot of fives.
Even with Sigalko, I can't see this.
And he's doing okay as well, considering compared to the rest of the team. He's actually probably the standout player. Ugo and the keeper aside, but he 6 headers won, and he's actually doing something. He's had plenty of touches, but my ratings aren't particularly high though, Jens, which makes me think I'm not doing too well. It's possibly more of a bad Stanley performance because there's no 9s, there's no 10s knocking around. I've not had loads of the ball.
I'm the complete opposite. I'm the complete opposite. if I play and I feel like I win comfortably and my ratings aren't that good, I think that wow, this is really good, because if my rating gets good, then we're gonna really be good.
Oh, yeah, fair
So
enough.
I'd
There's
be
still
really, really
another
happy
level
with
to
this.
reach, maybe. Yeah, still can step it up another level after this, though, I guess. Yeah, I'm expecting a few changes. I'll jump onto this screen.
It's
Yeah,
just nothing there on the bench to do
I was
anything, is
looking
there?
then. You'd probably say Carlos off for Phil Neville. I mean, that's a bold shout, but I
Mido,
think you may as well change something away. He's on a 5.
bring Mido
Mido.
on for Rui Costa. Rui Costa is useless in my opinion.
Yeah,
Mido can
I think he is, but
get your goal once in a while.
I think I'd be doing Mido for Good Johnson, swapping him. Yeah, here we go. So we've got Rui with Good Johnson off for Mido, purely for that more attacking MC. Forward arrow on Mido, longer arrows for wing backs. Yeah, that seems about right. This is the Dudley Hill title winning formation, one that I have reverted to on occasion. Say that's it, Sav, if that's all you're doing, mate. Very, very clear message. Thank you for that. Simeone not playing well there, which is a surprise. Yeah, he's a good player, isn't he?
Yeah, he's one of those DMCs that just kicks people around. One of those. You need a couple of those in the team.
He's having a bad save, isn't he, Scally? I don't know whether he
Yeah,
needed
I had
the.
so high hopes for him, but
You did, didn't you? I was offering you all sorts, wasn't I? And you were absolutely adamant that he was staying. But yeah, he's not done the business for either of the two of you yet. I'm worried about this now after that. That was 2-footed from Agahawa, so I've got away with one there. 2-footed on Simeone, which is a bold move. I'm hoping this game just ticks out. I'll take another clean sheet. Come on.
well done, mate. That's comprehensive.
That was a good result. I'm pretty good at home. I think that's 3 or 4 wins in a row, which I'm very happy with. I'm sort of found with Rossini coming in. I've sort of found a formation. I found a winning sort of mixture now. South team did not turn up. No, how's my stats looking? Yeah, pretty standard. Klompy got himself up to a 7. Okononko again. Rossini with the assist. And over to Savage. I don't think he'll want to look at this for very long. That's 4-5s. That's poor. That's bad. You might need to have a bit of a rethink. I know he was David's out, which is a huge player, but not a rethink completely, Savage, obviously, but just like a few more tweaks there. Once the final game, I've gone on longer than I normally do, which is now we're over an hour. I normally get it wrapped up within the hour. Reyes comes into it. Duggan, it's very good to have Duggan back. He's been quiet, hasn't he, Jens, for the last few weeks, even on our chats, the committee one that we've got. He's been really quiet, hasn't he, Jens? But it's good to have him back.
Hopefully he's recovering.
Absolutely.
Duggan is, yeah, we need Duggan's content and Duggan's commitment.
We do. I mean, yep, we do. We absolutely do. His content is far better than his actual playing ability, as I think someone commented on Twitter earlier in the week. He's very good at content. He's very bad at the game. Very good at transfers. Very bad at the game. So, let's see how he gets on. He doesn't like Finnan. He's been rubbish since he signed him for his best AMC. But Dino has turned up despite the 7, 3 and 5 with an assist. Derek McInnes inexplicably getting a game because Dim brought him on last game. I don't know. What number do you want, Reyes? 31? I don't think you care. And here are you, mate. Talk me through your team.
No, I think it's the same. Yeah, except for Jeremy's, who was suspended against the banter formation of Hodgie. So I don't know. I don't really know what to take from that game, because I should have won that game no matter what players I put out in that formation. But this just I'm starting to feel like I know my best team. There's just basically just players I don't want to sell after this season. So yeah, I don't feel confident at all, because I think Sangte has a really strong squad, and they at some point this season they're going to go on a little bit of a run. Hopefully it doesn't start today.
We think that a lot, don't we? Sangte have always got in the bag. He does build very, very good teams. It's just about Duggan tweaking it and bringing in those strange players like your Reyes is just to make the others a bit more balanced and get the win over the line. And then he does start to roll, doesn't he? He's back in it, Duggan. He wants to get this team up and running this starting from tonight. Let's see how this goes, boys. Good luck to the two of you. been all Vikings so far, but with Ronaldinho up front and the best ever Pippo Inzaghi, they're always likely to score. Vikings have got goals in them as well. Henry's been quality recently with a 10 last time out. And of course, the moody Anelka as well. And there he is again, Pippo Inzaghi. It must be a keeper 5. It must be, because they've not had a touch of the ball yet. As we approach
I said this
half-time.
in one of the chats. Giotis has been surprisingly good for season 1.
And a bit of pressure from Sanchez. There we go. We had that. All this came from the last 5 minutes there, or even 3 minutes. As Sanchez get 2 goals, and that Giotis got himself up to a 7. I do think if the game had stopped on 40 minutes, mate, he would have been, he'd have been on a 5. But there we go. That's yours to have a look at, mate, for a second and think it over. Are you going to do anything while you're here?
Yeah, well, I have to. This is just a weird performance. Just bad. It's just everyone.
A bit more clinical from the opposition, I think. Are we going to see any changes?
Yeah, let's bring. I just put Henry next to Anelka, and give Brozovic a little arrow there.
Yeah,
and extend the wing back arrows.
Yeah, okay. You've got a very good bench, it has to be said, mate. You've amassed a really good squad there. You've got 3 quality players on the bench that can make an impact. We've got an as-is call from Doug. You've got another contribution from Ronaldinho. I don't know what he does to hit Ronaldinho, but he seems to play for Duggan and die with another assist as well. So there we go. I think he's up to 6 or 7 for the season now. So let's go through till 60. Jens has made the changes. He's been bold. Are we going to get any paid dividends? We're up to 60 minutes. Nothing so far, mate. Really misfiring against what is traditionally a poor Sancte defence. What do you want to do, mate?
Bad. Just bring Brozovic and Henry up.
Henry off for the 2 of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that it?
And
fairly stuck.
Yeah, really. Bring Petit on for Ashley Cole as well, and swap him with Storchinski, please.
Okay.
Cheers.
Let's see, centre mid, and then we've got Sancte, Duggan. I think that as is was from half time. It was. Fitness wise, Georgiatos is on 79, but I wouldn't be worried about that. Reyes not doing anything, mainly because he's far too young. Look at him. He's not particularly good enough to start. It's just one of those that I think he's put in just because he may as well to give it a go. If it was me, I'd be putting Defoe on at AMC and giving him a bit of game time at AMC. As is, please, again, no problem. Are you going to pressurize this defensive line? How are we looking match stats? You've done absolutely nothing since half-time, mate. Are the changes going to make any difference? No, 10 minutes to go. A bit of Vikings pressure. Not much happening. And there we go. You don't get many hat-tricks.
Embarrassing, isn't it? It's just fucking embarrassing.
You do not get many hat-tricks. He promised that Inzaghi would score if he signed him. I tried him. He didn't. He's got 2 and then none. He has got 3 in one game. I think Giotis probably let you down there, mate. That must be another assist for Ndai. It's not. Just tackle Stevie Finnan, which he'll be delighted at because he was on the verge of being dropped. Ronaldinho as well. And yourself. Like you say, a very strange performance, really, wasn't it?
It's just bad. It's just how the season is. We play one good game and then we lose. And then we play one good game and then we lose. So, and we don't usually win the good games we play either. So, not good. Embarrassing.
I think up to
changes to be made.
Up to the 40th minute, I think. And I know you were 2-0 down, but I think up to the 40th minute, you were well in the game. You were seemingly on top. And then there was 5 minutes before half-time that the Sancte really put some pressure on your keeper, started to make a few saves, got himself to a 7. And then the second half, you didn't lay a glove on them. So since about 40th minute, you haven't laid a glove on them at all, have you?
It's just been terrible. So, and I mean, all of my squad is for sale. So it's just to put into my DMs.
Correct, Edwards. If Tato sold you, probably played a blinder tonight. Yeah, I think most of the people I've sold have done very, very well today. But I only deal with the big transfers, so that is what it is. And when I'm sitting in 4th, Edwards, I don't particularly mind everyone else doing well as well. So we've got plenty of wins to nil tonight. No, in fact, no BTS at all. That's a weird one. That is strange, isn't it? Everyone got nilled. Everybody got nilled. No draws, and everyone got nilled. 2-0 Badgers against Stanley, 1-0 Dudley against hosts, keeping their season alive and making Dimble sweat. Exiles going to attacking and got spanked again. Fulchester just about beating Los Santos in an even battle. Burn beating a very attacking Foss Road as well. Stackington, despite my substitution error, just creeping over the line for the first win in 6 or 5 against the Sloths. The Vikings there, as we've just seen, teams in 12th and 13th. Getting the points on the board for Sancte there. So this is how the table looks. You've got Haggis and Fulchester streaking away with Burn hot on their tails. There's a lot of goals going in for Haggis. The Badgers are there in 4th place. A slight gap appearing potentially between 17 and 22. I like a 5-point gap. That's a good one. Coast the in-betweener team, still not comfortably in the top few there, but they've got a good record. You know what, Dims is very, very solid. Burn only conceded 10 all season. Myself on 12. Sloths now dropping out. I think they were still in last game. Dudley Hill now putting the pressure back on. Really important win that they've sort of given themselves a fighting chance. And Stackington out of nowhere after 5 losses, or no wins in 5 rather. 26 conceded, the most in the league before tonight. They are back in with a shout of the playoffs. You would say, Jens, all the way down to, would you say everybody's still in with a shout? It's only 6 points, isn't it?
No, I think from us, Sancte and Los Santos are probably out of it. There's too many teams playing each other, and I mean,
maybe.
That's not
You
gonna,
put 3 wins in a row, though, Jens. You put 3 wins in a row, and the home and away form has been so sporadic and different this year that you put 3 wins in a row at home or wherever you're strongest, and you are right back up in there. You can see Stackington have not won in 5. They've won a game, and they are absolutely back in there with a shout. So it could go any way. So here is the fixtures on, what day are we on? Sunday, which is a Duggan day, I think. I feel like I've not seen him for a while.
Haggis away.
Haggis away does not get any easier for the Vikings. East Coast Badgers should be really interesting, or probably not that interesting, but an interesting in its outcome. Exiles Fossey Road. Now, I'm guessing Foss Road, if they play that same daft formation, they will concede. If Exiles play their same daft formation, they will concede. So that might be one with lots of goals in it. Los Santos take on a resurgent Stackington with a dominant 1-0 win tonight. Sancte take on Fulchester now, an informed Sancte team taking on Fulchester. This could be an interesting game, very much so for Duggan's stream. Sloths and Dudley Hill, 7th and 8th. I think most of the other teams will be taking a draw there. And finally there, Stanley, who seem to be up and down, probably more down than up at the moment, against a fairly impenetrable Northern Burn. I will click on to the week after because out of interest, it's me v Burn. The week after, you've got Haggis there. You've got this one as a good game. And you've got Sloths afterwards, which probably in 7th place would completely end any hopes you've got, mate.
Is it 2 or is it 3 away games in a row?
I think a few teams are having this as well. You've got 2 there in a row, including, so 2 in a row. A few teams are finding that as well. Player stats, Crespo leading the way by a country mile. He's not played as many games, but there you go. You've got goals and Penza. Ortega from AMC he'll be rubbing his hands there. Assists, Zeriberto leading the way. No one made any inroads, really. I think Serginho and Dye there with his 4th, sorry. No one cares about any of them. Tackles per game. Nicky Butt is creeping back up there now. Where's who was it who got tons? Was it Hoffland? Hoffland got about 1 billion.
But it's his first game, I think, so he's probably not there.
Oh yeah, true that, mate. True that. No, I don't think anyone cares about dribbles because Giggs is always top regardless. Shots on target. People cared about that for about 1 season, but that's about it. And there you go. Okay, thank you, boys, for coming with us. Sorry, it's gone over the time. Jens, thank you very much, mate. Appreciate your company. Pleasure as always, mate.
Thanks for being on.
No problem. And I'll probably do packs tomorrow, boys. So I'm going to go play some Xbox and get to bed in about half an hour, which I couldn't have done if I started it a bit later. So thank you for coming on nice and early, boys. Hopefully everyone now gets a bit of extra time rather than me just sitting around waiting for the stream from 8 till 9. Well, thank you very much. Viva la Super League, and I'll see you all on Sunday, boys. Tato out. Still here. Not pressed end stream yet, lads. See ya.